What's up? I'm back, y'all. So I'm on the road again / still. So I had this thought, right? So I'm driving. You know, when you get on those interstates, you know, that are just like the long interstates, you see all the trucks, right? So I'm like looking in the opposite lane, all these trucks. I'm passing all these trucks, like box trucks, right? And I'm like, people are slaves for real, dog. Humans are slaves for real. Like, there is really a few controlling the many. Like, humans are slaves for real, dog. Like, I just imagine, like, people really be out here driving shifts, like, 12, probably 15-hour days, you know what I'm saying? You know, just sleep 8 hours and then get back to it type shit. And, like, damn, though, it's a lot of fucking trucks. I mean, like, I'm, like, looking at a whole fucking line of them right now, dog. Like, literally all trucks. And, you know, you see Amazon, you see Walmart, you see fucking UPS, you see, you know, all these license plates, like, you know, all across the country. And I'm just like, man, like, all these people are shipping products for somebody that's basically stealing. I mean, look, I'm not even going to talk about money, I feel like, anymore, because, like, I don't even want to validate that system anymore. Because, like, you could talk all day about how, like, oh, you're not getting your money's worth, or, like, you know, people are stealing money, the rich are taking from the poor, and, like, using the poor as slaves. But, like, I feel like the more and more I talk about that shit, it's just giving more weight to the money, right? It's like, that money shit don't even exist. It's like, you know, it's like if I came out with a currency, right? And I called it, you know, the Story of Us currency, Orion currency. And then I started making everybody use it, right? Just like in my laws video, my last video, like, I wrote on a piece of paper all my laws, you know, basically said everybody, hey, like, these are the laws, you need to follow them, and then, you know, teach your kin and teach your kids to follow them. So then I get, you know, all these people to follow my laws, and I have my currency, right? You know how stupid that would look to somebody in this world to be like, oh, we use, like, Ryan's currency. They'd be like, y'all use what fucking shit? Like, y'all dumb as fuck, man. They just made that shit up, man. Y'all better get your shit together. Like, that's how I feel talking about this shit. So I'm like, I could talk about the money aspect for days. Like, that's just the reference point of the actual problem, which is the slavery, right? You know, and it's mind control and it's mind programming, you know, ever since, from the moment we're born, right? You know, it's like that song, Akra Loomis, programmed since birth. You know, it's so true. And it's like all the way down to our mannerisms, how we interact. I've been thinking about that too on the road, like how we interact with people, how I interact with people. It's all like pre-programmed in a way where, and I've said in multiple songs, like, you know, I'd like to imagine a world where we don't have words anymore, right? And David Icke, I think he talks about this in like one of his books where he's like, you know, at one point it's like we just become infinite awareness, right? Where we no longer need food as we know it, and we just become one infinite awareness, right? And I feel like this is a path to that, right? Where I just imagine, like, I don't even need fucking language no more. I don't think anybody needs fucking language. Like, I feel like language is also like one of those things like money, where somebody just created that shit just to put you in a box and mark you in a world to control your reality and basically tell you how to think. Because if you think about it, like, I mean, I think I said this in another video too. Maybe I should make a whole video about it, but like, you know, you really only got like 500,000 of these motherfucking words, right? Like 500,000 of these motherfuckers. And, you know, that's supposed to like pan out your whole reality. So like, imagine if you only had 3 words. Like, that's the best, I think the reference point I gave as an example last time. If you only had 3 words, you know, you're communicating your whole life. Imagine how much miscommunication there would be. You know, it's because words aren't reality. It's because we're trying to translate into words what cannot be said. You know, all these videos that I make on YouTube, they're all just like gibberish at the end of the day, because no words can put in like what I'm trying to explain, you know? Even if we came up with a bajillion more words, just like why I left law school, even if we came up with a bajillion more laws, you know, like Shoshana Zuboff was like, you know, hey, you know, if we just, you know, it's just because there aren't laws for this yet that, you know, people are having all their, you know, data, you know, mined and capitalized on and sold. It's like, nah, like, it's the program itself is built in. No matter how many words, no matter how many laws, you know, it's the... All right, I got cut off because my storage ran out again, but I mean, I feel like I had made the point. I was fucking yelling and shit. But yeah, like that's, you know, no matter a bajillion words, laws, none of that's actually getting to the root of the issue. And I think I was gonna make another separate video about this, but I feel like I can just say it here. Is that, like, I think the solution to this is like the Chinese finger trap, right? Where it's like, I feel like the more you try, I need to get off this type of road. The more you try to solve it, like, the less successful you will be. Like, I feel like it's more about letting go, right? I was even thinking about that. Oh shit, that was crazy. I was even thinking about that with damn, I was just thinking about that. There was like this ditch and this motherfucker was like swerving around it, but it was a truck and it was like throwing that ass to the side, if you know what I mean. It looks scary. But shit, one sec. I'm trying to think do too much at one time. But like I was saying, it's like the Chinese finger trap, where it's like the more you try to solve it, the less you can. I feel like you just have to like release. And I was thinking about that with my jobs, and like, you know, I feel like growing up, it's always like, oh, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And you know, people expect you to have these like crazy jobs, like make a whole bunch of fucking money. But I feel like the pathway is actually like, you know, let go of all that shit. Like, do what you gotta do to survive in a way. But even then, that's too much, right? I feel like it's just like letting go. Like I've been fasting a little bit more. Like I used to fast. I used to do a crazy fast. Like one time I did a 40-day fast, just water and tea, and like no caffeine, no sugar, no nothing. But that was crazy, and I lost a whole bunch of weight. Maybe I'll do a video on that too. Let me know if you want that one. But yeah, it's like I've been fasting more like intermittently. I've been eating a lot less. Like, I mean, I kind of gained a little bit more weight than I wanted to too. So I'm just like, you know, it won't hurt. Like, I'm not going to be like underweight or anything. But I'm not really even losing weight. You know, I'm kind of like staying where I am. And I think it's because I'm like almost at a stasis point. I don't really know. But I feel like I'm just letting go. And I feel like, you know, once I get to my new place, settle down, you know, figure out what I'm doing, drive for Uber, drive for Lyft or whatever, it's really just going to be about stopping and listening, right? I think that's part of like why the universe has taken so many people out of my life, right? Because, you know, those frequencies, they just bother you so much. You know, it's all these noise. Everywhere you go, it's noise. People want to do all this dumb shit that I don't want to do anymore. And I think that, you know, that's a bonus thing to like being alone and like not having friends, and, you know, that relates to this type of shit, is that if you really utilize that silence, that's gonna be the answer. Like, I feel like the answer is like right across, like it's just the mentality switch, right? I feel like it's just a simple mind switch and the answer is there, right? It's like I feel like I'm like a fish, like looking through a glass tank, like, you know, in Finding Nemo when they're trying to get out the tank, like you just got to get to the other side. We're like looking through a glass, but it's easy. It's gonna be easier than that shit. Like, it's just gonna be like, oh, like something's gonna click one day. The more time we spend, and time doesn't even exist either, right? Time will collapse. Shit, it's gonna be a great. I mean, shit. Honestly, it already is, right? You know, if time doesn't exist, then that shit already happened. And I'm just the experience living through this shit again, just to feel fucking good. So, shit, I can't wait to see it happen. I'll see y'all in the next video.